How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to an episode or live stream here on Let's Build Twitter. Last episode, we worked on getting the rest of the search dropdown working. We also set up some new routes as well as this layout page, so that way we can go ahead and basically just be able to inject any content that we want. This episode, we're going to make it so whenever you click on a profile, it can actually go to that profile and grab the information. So now it's been a little bit since I've actually set that stuff up, so we're going to go ahead and try to set that up. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get to the point where we can follow people. Probably not at the end of this episode, but eventually. So with that being said, let's go ahead and just start working on this. And what we're basically going to do is whenever we click on like a user's profile, it's going to navigate us to their profile page, and we're going to use a query parameter at the top. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and say route path equal to / colon, and this is going to be username. So whenever we go to username, we're going to go to element equal to, and for now we're just going to say we're going to like that user's profile. Now of course we want to make sure this user exists and all of that stuff. We'll deal with that validation and all of that a little bit later on. For now, I just want to make it so that if we go to / colon username, it's going to take us to that person's username. From here, what we can go ahead and do is we need to go back into wherever we are searching, and we're going to do some other stuff as well. We want the actual drop down, so drop down, and now we have an on click, so we need use navigate in here. So let's go ahead and bring in use navigate, so import and use navigate, and I'm sure it's going to add that. I don't know why my VS Code is messed up. And now let's go ahead and say const navigate is equal to use navigate, and then that'll be that. I guess we already have navigate to user profile. I don't know if we need this. We might need it for e.prevent default. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if we did have an issue with that. I don't think it's an issue anymore because we set up some things, and we're going to navigate to / and we can actually do this $$ curly brace, and we need the e dot. I guess we know the search content, right? So we can go to / search content, I suppose, and do that, and that should actually set that up. I don't know, there might be some more stuff. So this one also has go to @ search content. You can go ahead and put the on click here. So on click is equal to, and then we'll go ahead and put navigate to user profile. And then we also need to go inside of maybe here. Instead of doing this, we'll just go ahead and close. We need to call toggle dropdown, put to false, and then we can still have the navigate to user profile there. So it needs a key equal to, and I was going to say user.username. We could say user.user ID. And we could also say that the ID is equal to user.username. And this one here, the ID, one moment, guys. Let me write this really quick. ID equal to, and this one will also be search content. And then whenever we click, we have E. We could say here inside of navigate, we can say E dot targets.id or e.current-target.id. And let's just try this out really quick. So if we come into Brave and we search for Rick, we click on Rick Sanchez. We never actually put it on there. So navigate to user profile, and we got an extra curly brace. And then let's try this out before I have to dip for a second. So now you see user's profile, we'd show Rick, and it also says Rick Sanchez, which is what Twitter does. I think this should probably, whenever we click on that, should probably clear out the content and set it back to search. So if we come in here, let's go ahead and set our content, which we might have as set search content or update search content. Yeah, we do. So let's go ahead and update to search content to an empty string whenever we go ahead and navigate. And we'll probably want to do that for a couple other things as well, but for now we'll just go ahead and do that. And let's actually make sure this looks good. So if we come in here and we actually search for Rick, it clears it. We're at Rick Sanchez. We search for Rick again and go to like Mort Dog, it goes to Morty Smith, so on and so forth. So now what we want to go ahead and do is actually, I guess, one, we need to get the user's profile, which I think all we want to do for user's profile is basically grab their information, and then we want to just set up something very, very basic. I'm not that concerned about doing it like perfectly. I just want it to kind of work, and then we'll kind of go from there, because the biggest thing is I want to be able to make it so I can follow people. So let's come back into our code, and let's pages. We're going to go ahead and make a new file. We'll call this profile page, or just profile.tsx, and we'll import React from React. And we'll need to import use params from React Router DOM, because I think that's how we're going to get the user's username. And I'm trying to think of anything else we need. We'll probably also want to import a CSS file, so /profile.css, although it's going to be pretty similar to the other ones. We could probably combine all of the CSS for the pages into one single file, but for now it's fine. We'll go ahead and import that. So let's go ahead and export, and I believe we've just been doing export const, and this will be called profile, and this will be a React .function component equal to this, and then let's return a div. Whoops, this should be a div. The class name equal to profile dash page. So this is going to be like dead simple. It's just going to be with 100% height fit content. And what we're going to have is we're going to have like a top bar. Let me just do this, I guess. So let's just annotate kind of what we have inside the profile page. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. So we have a top bar, which has the user's username and like if they're verified, stuff like that. After that, we have like their profile banner and picture, which is going to be interesting to do because it's kind of like overlaid. What probably actually is their profile banner. And then we have the content section, or like profile picture, options, and follow. And this is what I want to get done today. So the biggest thing that I want to be able to do is I want to grab this data and just store it into the profile. What I'm kind of thinking here is that whenever you log in here, you'll basically just have an encapsulated context for the profile itself. I want to keep this as simple as possible. So let's go ahead and just keep it in this section. So what we'll go ahead and do is let's also import Axios from Axios. And this is not at all, I haven't been doing a very good job keeping things consistent, but I don't really see the need to build a whole context for this, I guess. So I have our profile here, and we're gonna go ahead and say const username is equal to use params, I believe is how we do it. And then what we can go ahead and do is we're gonna say const profile user and set profile user is equal to, and we're gonna go ahead and grab the user. So what we're gonna go and do is say equal to use state, and we're gonna go ahead and say this is equal to a user, and we're gonna say or undefined, I guess, because it's going to start out as undefined, which is going to make our life a little bit hard, but we'll make it work. It's going to import that, and let's also import use state. We're also going to need a use effect. And really, I should probably set this up the smart way where we cancel it instead of calling it twice, but honestly, I don't really care. I'm going to be honest, this one isn't really detrimental. So what we're going to go ahead and do is say use effect, like so. And we're going to go ahead and watch the username property. And we're going to go ahead and say, I guess we need a async function. So const, we're going to call this fetch profile user, maybe. Whoops, profile user. And this will equal to an async function. You don't have to use an arrow function here. Is what is, so that'll equal to an async function, and basically we'll say let our request equal to, and this will be Axios dot. So it doesn't actually look like I have just a get user. We're gonna just go ahead and get a slash get user. So at get mapping to slash, we could probably do this and say username. That'll probably be fine for this. and just return a public application user, and then this will be get user by username. I'm assuming that we have this. We'll see. And this will have request. So we will need at request header, and we'll say HTTP headers dot authorization, and then this will be string token because we do want to be authorized at path variable, and this will be username. Whoops. And this will be string username. All right, so now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're just going to go ahead and say return. And we might not find the user, which is an issue. So we might need to deal with that, but we want to go ahead and return. But I don't think we need to use the token for anything. I think we can just go ahead and return user service dot get by username and then pass in username. I don't know if this throws anything. Okay, so this should be fine. We do need to go ahead and restart our application. So let's go ahead and stop and rerun it. So now what we'll go ahead and do is we'll call slash users or slash whatever this is. I always forget. I think it's just slash http // localhost 8000 / API / user / username. So let's go ahead and deal with this. So we're going to say axios.get, and we can go ahead and say we're going to get http / local host :8000 / user / and then this should actually be backticks probably just to make our lives a little bit easier. So backticks, and then we'll say $ curly brace, and $ curly brace, this will be the username. We do want this, and we want headers, and in here we want authorization. I think we have to put this in here. So authorization. Whoops. And this will be a bearer token : and then I guess we need to bring in our authentication slice. So I think it's called authentication slice. Maybe it's just called user slice. Let's go ahead and import, I guess, root state. And we also want to grab our use selector. We might need a dispatch. I don't know. Import and use selector. For now, we're just going to grab use selector and root state. And let's go ahead and say const, and we'll say token is equal to, and we'll say use selector. And then this will be state root state. And we're going to return state.user.token. And it should be filled out if we made it this far. And now we'll have our $ curly brace token. And I believe that's everything we need. We need to throw this in a try catch because it could throw that exception and it'll throw like a 404 or something. So we'll try this. And if this is good, let's just go ahead and console.log, and we'll console.log rec.data. And then otherwise we'll catch an E. And then we'll just console.log, and we'll say user does not exist. Really, we'll probably kick them back out to like the feed page, and we need to await this. So let's go ahead and await this and do that. So now anytime the username changes, we'll go ahead and call fetch user. And it doesn't matter if it's already there or anything. We basically just straight up want to do that. We need to go ahead and pass in profile here. Let's go ahead and throw in the profile page. Profile. Like so. Import it. And now it should go ahead and call the API. So maybe it's not grabbing the token or something else. I'm not sure. Fetch user headers authorization bear, and maybe I spelled authorization wrong. Who knows? Let's try again. Let's watch for the token to change, and we'll say if we have a token. I wonder if the token's not loaded yet and is trying to call this before it actually grabs the token from local storage. So if we refresh, yeah, so we didn't have the token yet. Now we don't have the authorities list, and we're also not grabbing. I wonder what we're actually returning from our request? I have no idea. So if we look at this, we're returning an application user. So we have this. What do we JSON ignore? We JSON ignore the following list. We JSON ignore the followers list. And what about like posts? I didn't see a list of posts. So it doesn't look like I return the list of posts on this. We can make another request whenever we actually load the post, I guess. So we're going to have the bio. We're going to have, we don't care about the email really. We don't really care about this. We'll have their first name, last name, if there's a profile picture, if there's a bio, if there's a banner picture, so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and do this. So let's go ahead and start setting this up. So the first thing we want is the top bar. The top bar has like a arrow pointing backwards that takes us to the home page, and it has their username and then if they're verified, anything like that. So let's go into our features, make a new folder, go ahead and call this profile. I don't think we have a profile yet. Make a new folder, call this components, make a new folder, and we'll call this top bar or profile top bar.tsx. Actually, we want to not rename it that. We want this to be profile bar. Now we'll make a new file, profile top bar.tsx, and a new file, profile top bar.css. Now what I'm thinking is we'll probably just pass in. So here we need to use this username, the organization, and if they're verified. And then we also need the number of posts that they have, which will be interesting because we don't actually have the number of posts on the user. So that means that we're going to have to do something I didn't really want to. We're probably going to have to, inside a profile, we're probably going to say const post and set post is equal to use state of a post array. And then this will be empty to start. And then we're going to have to do one of these. Well, I can't do it like that. We have to do it like this. Let's actually go ahead and set profile user here because I don't ever actually do that. Set profile user to the rec.data. We almost need to have a callback function in here. I mean, we don't need to. We can just go ahead as once we have the profile user, we can go ahead and say let, so we can say user request here. Let user request and then user request.data, and then we can say let post request equal to await Axios. And this will be fun because I don't actually know if we have an API for just getting a user's post. Let's go back to our profile top bar and let's just say import React from React, export const profile top bar. It was a react.fc, and do this. This is going to take a prop soon, which return a div the class name equal to profile dash top bar. Oops, there we go, and it should stop complaining. But this is axios.get, and we're going to go ahead and get http // local host 8000 /post /author / and then $ curly brace, and we need the ID. So we already have this, so we can say const user is equal to user rec. I think we need to do it in this order because I think once we call user rec.data, it's like a stream and it's gone. So we're going to do that, and we're going to pass the user in here just to be safe. And then we're going to say user.user ID, and then we're going to go ahead and have this object, and we're going to have our headers with authorization bear. And again, this is a try catch, so we can say user does not exist or issue loading. So let's go ahead and actually say const fetch user posts equal to this, and this is an async function, and do this. And we'll say try, but okay. Catch e console.log. We'll say unable to fetch fetch post, and then we'll know which one's which. So we'll go ahead and pass in the user, and what we can do is this. Go ahead and copy that, paste that there. We can go ahead and set that, and we can go and grab this, copy this, and we're gonna go and paste this. And now we'll go ahead and say set post to post rec dot data, and we can actually change this back to just request. So rec and then rec dot data, and then this will be rec dot data and rec. So then we can kind of know which one's which. We could call fetch user post here, and we could await it. We could await fetch user post, and then go ahead and say const user is equal to rec.data. We could pass user and pass user to that. This should be fetch user posts. And what we could do is we could say, we could actually do this, let user like that. We could go ahead and say user is equal to this, and we can say finally, maybe finally we can await this. This might not like this, but we'll see what happens, I suppose. So here's the other thing we could do instead. We have the user ID. I'm thinking we bring in a private. I think I was against this originally, but we're going to bring in private final user service, user service, like this. Import that class, and we're going to bring it in here. That user service is equal to user service. We need to pass it in here. Whoops. User service. And what we're going to go ahead and do is here, when we do author, we're going to, instead of saying new application user, we're going to go ahead and say application user author is equal to user service dot get user by ID. We're going to pass in that user ID, and then we can go ahead and get the author. What if we say, this doesn't make any sense either to do it like this. This should be slash posts with an S. Okay, let's try again. So we didn't actually have to do all of that, but it's fine. So now we have post, it's empty. So that's good. And I think I like what this code is better anyway. So now we have the post and we have the user. We have everything we need. I want to make sure that like the user's not undefined. So I kind of want to like have a check here. So I want to like basically say like, hey, if we have a profile user, then we basically show maybe like this. Right, we'll just have some information. Otherwise we'll have like nothing. So this is kind of weird right now. Looks a little bit weird because it's like, oh, it's like you show nothing, right? But maybe there's like a loading. We do like a loading toggle there or something, just for whenever we're grabbing the user information, because we're going to be passing the user info to the top bar, we're going to be passing it to the profile banner, so on and so forth. We need the user profile information there, or the profile user information there, for all of these to work. So that's why it's important to go ahead and do this. What we're going to do is we're going to go into our profile top bar, and let's go ahead and set up the interface for this. So interface profile top bar props. So again, what we need on this guy is we need the username. So username will be a string. We need the is verified, which will be a Boolean. We need the organization. This will be a string because I'm just going to set it as like an image. And then finally, we need posts, or number of posts or something. Number of posts, which is a number. And we're going to have to figure out how to kind of convert this. Maybe we'll do utility class or utility function or something. I don't know what other utility classes we'll need, but you never know. So the top bar is going to have a div, the class name equal to profile top bar dash, and this will be name section, maybe. And inside the name section, we'll have a div. Do we need a div? We can probably do a P and class name equal to profile top bar name. And then this will be username. Or actually, I think this is actually so instead of username, we want nickname. So this would be nickname. So let's go ahead and actually pass this in. Profile, top bar props, again, hiccups / burps. And we'll go ahead and break out nickname is verified organization and number of posts. So now we'll go ahead and pass in the nickname there. This is gonna be pretty much just a static prop. We're gonna say this is verified, and we're gonna basically kind of do what we did inside of that discovery dropdown. So we go into a components and then our discovery search dropdown and this. So we have a verified SVG. So I'm just gonna take this and don't look now, I'm copy and paste and stuff. So let's just go ahead and say is verified. Oops. Is verified, and let's go ahead and import this. So now we have that guy. Then we'll do the same thing. Say organization, and we'll just do an image again. IMG and SRC equal to, and so this is going to be organization, and then alt equal to backtick, and then $ curly brace nicknames organization. Except I don't want all of that. And what happened here? I don't know what happened. Nicknames organization. And let's fix this, fix that. Okay. Organization. So again, fix that. Either we have an organization, we don't, that's fine. And then finally we have a P class name equal to, and this will just be called profile top bar posts maybe. And then here we'll just say number of posts. Although I think I do want to go ahead and right click new folder, except make sure it's inside profile, new folder, utils, new file, profile, utils.tsx maybe. Is it going to return a, we'll just say ts. Well, actually I'm going to set to ts, and if we need to change it back, we can. And now what we'll go ahead and do is we'll say export const, and we'll say convert number of posts to string, and we'll pass in a number of posts, which is a number, and do this equal to, and this will return a string. Now, I forget the best way to do this. There's like an easy way to get the number. So we'll say if the number, this is going to be like a rudimentary way of doing this. If the number of posts is less than 1,000, we're going to return a string $ curly brace number of posts. Right? We're going to say if number of posts is greater than 1,000, greater than equal to 1,000, and number, oops, and maybe this should be the default. So this is our default. So we have to be greater than here, and number of posts is less than 1 million. So let me go ahead and get this right. I don't think this is allowed in JavaScript, but just give me 1 second to kind of break it apart. Cool. So if number of posts is this and this, Okay, I did that wrong. Cool. So number of posts is greater than this, but it's less than 1,000,000. I guess that is allowed. Interesting. I didn't know that was allowed in JavaScript. Here we'll return. And how do we want to do this? So we'll return the backticks and $ curly brace. And I guess we'll say is number of posts mod 1000. Probably never make that many posts, but whatever. And then if number of posts is greater than or equal to 1,000,000. Again, we're never going to reach this number, but then we'll return $ curly brace number of posts, and then this will be mod 1,000,000. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then we want our backticks on this. I'm just dumb. So backticks, and then we'll say m. Right, so if we have 57,000 posts, it'll say 57k post. We might want to go ahead and round this to like 1 decimal here. Okay, so we can say, so this is gonna be kind of crazy. I don't know if it's gonna work. Dot, we can 2 fixed, and then 1, and we're gonna do the same thing here. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this like this. Dot 2 fixed. And 1. So basically we're going to say, hey, we're going to only have 1 decimal point here, and maybe we want 2 decimal points, but I'm going to go ahead and just round it to 1. Now we have a profile utils. So now instead of number of posts, we're going to go ahead and call the convert number of posts to string. Hit that. Do that, and we'll pass in number of posts, and then here we'll have a space and it says post, except that we need to have this outside of this post. And then of course we don't have any posts right now, so that's just going to say 0 posts, but as we get posts, it should be fine. So now we do the fun part of styling this. So let's go into our profile top bar.css. So dot, and then profile dash top dash bar. So here our width is going to be 100%. We need to find the height of it. Height, I'm going to say 55. Just make it a little bit bigger. And position is going to be sticky. Whoops. Sticky and top 0. So that should stick to the top. We're going to have a background color of RGBA, and this is going to be I think 255, 255, 255, and then like 0.5. And we also want like the blur, which we have inside of our feed page somewhere. So if we go into feed components, and then we should have like a feed top bar, and let's take a look at the CSS. There should be like a, yeah, we want this background filter. So let's grab this and then put that on there. And I think that's everything we need for this guy. And this should be 55px, not 55% px. I don't know if we need padding 0 and margin 0, but it might not hurt. We might actually want margin on it, or not margin, padding on it. I also forgot there's an arrow beside the name section. We're gonna have to modify this, unfortunately. What we might do is this. We have the profile top bar. We might have a div class name equal to profile top bar left, because this does need a border on it whenever we hover. We'll have a div class name equal to, and this will be profile top bar right, and we'll wrap this entire area in it, and then that should save me from a massive pain in the backside. So then because of this, we also, if we go back into our CSS, we also need display flex. We can justify content from flex start, and we can align items in the center. So I guess we will probably want a small padding of like 16 px, give or take. We can kind of modify things as we go. So now we need an arrow. So to material UI we go. All right, arrow back. Perfect. Let me copy it. And inside of our profile page, top bar, we'll go ahead and bring this guy in, paste that. And I realized we don't have the CSS in here. So let's go ahead and import the CSS as well, otherwise we'll be scratching our head. Why is it not working? So /, and this is profile top bar.css. Okay, so now at the top bar left, we'll go ahead and have arrow back icon SX. I don't know how big this is. We'll deal with size. Let's go ahead and do the profile top bar left, and I gotta go to the right spot. So now .profile top bar left. So width will be 34 px. Height will be 34 px, and then we'll have display flex, justify content in the center, align items in the center, and the rest we could do border none, and then we could do border radius 100%, and we need a hover. Profile top bar left, hover, and the hover will have a background color RGBA, and we need to convert our gray color, or we could just do really light black, so like 0.1 or something. It needs to be like very light, but that should do that, I believe. And then now we need the right, so this will be interesting. So right, copy, and let's do this. So width will just be fit content. Same with height will be fit content. I don't think we need to do really anything else. We might need like a margin and padding 0, but I'm not that worried about it. This one we need to go ahead and set up display flex. So width, what's it going to be? Fit content. Height will be fit content. Display will be flex. We'll justify content from the flex start. And we'll align items in the center. I think that'll be it. Again, we'll need to play around with organizations and all that stuff. So that's fine for now. We need the top bar name. So let's go ahead and do that. If I could please click on the right thing. Actually, so font size 20 px. Font weight, I'm going to go ahead and assume it's like 800. Let's go and get rid of the margin. Margin 0 and padding 0, maybe. And then we can go ahead and adjust margin and stuff on this later. And I think that's it. I mean, obviously organization will want something, but right now I'm not that worried about it. So we do want the verified. So verified's 12 by 12. So I need to figure out like what size we want this guy to be. This one says 20 by 20. So I'm going to say height is 20 px. And then I'm going to go ahead and say width is 20 px on this guy. And what I can go ahead and do on the image, I can just say height is equal to 20 and width is equal to 20. And that'll probably do it for now. If we want some special CSS on that, we'll just make it 20 by 20 for now. And then finally, we have a profile top bar post. And we'll see how bad this looks. I'm a little bit concerned, but maybe it'll look okay. So font dash size. This one's probably like 15. It's actually 13, so this one's pretty small. And then obviously the font weight is going to be like 400. And then I actually do want to color this one. So let's go to the app and I'm going to grab the like gray color. We don't want light gray, but we don't want dark gray. So let's grab this gray color. I don't know, that might be too light. We might need to do dark gray, but I think that's everything that I want for this. So let's go into our profile and let's go ahead and profile's outside, right? Yeah, so let's go ahead and make inside of our, whatever this is called, inside of here, new file, index.tsx. And I don't know if I've actually been doing this or not inside this project, but I'm gonna do it here. We're gonna import the profile top bar. We're gonna export profile top bar. Just makes things a little bit cleaner. We'll go to the top and we'll import profile top bar from features profile, and we're gonna throw it in here. So now here we'll have profile top bar, and this needs nickname, which will equal to profile user dot nickname. And then we need is verified, which is equal to false. And we could set that to true if we really want to look at it. Organization will be empty. And again, we could also steal like the picture I see right now. And then finally, we need number of posts. So number of posts will be equal to post.length. Again, that would be 0 for now. And I think that's everything that we need for this part. So let's see what we whipped up, if it's any good or not. So we come in here. So it definitely looks like if we come into the profile, margin 0 is not doing anything. Either that, we need a margin 0 on this. Something needs a margin 0 because it is scuffed. It might be the padding. So we want like padding left. It might be too much padding here, so padding left 16px instead. We also need like lines on our profile page. I don't know if we ever actually did the profile CSS. We didn't. Let's go ahead and add dot profile here. And we'll say width 100%. Height was be fit content for now. And border right 1px solid, and we want the light gray. Let's grab this color and let's throw it into the CSS, and then border left 1px solid, and we might need to change this so that's at least 100% of the page. It's probably gonna look really scuffed right now. Yeah, it only goes down to there. That's fine. Oh, I didn't even put margin 0. No wonder why it's not doing anything. Margin 0 and padding 0. There, it looks a lot better. Now it looks kind of scuffed because it's not very big, but what can you do? So I'm curious to see what it looks like if I go into our profile and we put true. Let's see if this holds up or not. That is way too small and it's not filled very well. So let's go back in here. So that's a good thing that we tested that. So that's like 12 by 12, I think. So let's make this 20 by 20 and see what this looks like. And we might need to change out this like verified. I think that looks okay. Maybe like 22 by 22. That might be big, but okay. Now I wonder if I could steal this image. So if I also grab this, so I'm looking at like optic right now. So if I grab the optic image and I put inside of here, I think we might go back to 20 by 20. We're gonna need to change, and Material UI might have a verified logo that we can use. But just to test this, let's go to our profile and in organization. I'm just gonna grab this image. Yeah. Optic Rick, let's go. So honestly, that's probably okay. We might want a little extra spacing in between those. So we might want like column gap a little bit there. So like if we go into our name section, we might want to add like column gap of like 4 pixels or something, just to give it a little bit of space. That might be a little bit heavy. I don't know, I think that kind of looks good. I'm gonna look at Material UI really quick to see if there's like a verified. There is a verified. Let me grab this verified because I like this one better. Let's go back to profile top bar, and instead of using verified SVG, we'll use verified icon, and we need to say SX equal to, and we can still add color, I think. It might be font color. I think we can add color and set that equal to this. It's an object. There we go. Width be 20 px and height will be 20 px. Now what I'm worried about is that this is going to have the inside's going to be like black or white instead of black because it looks like it's see-through. We have the color and everything, so let's see what it looks like. Honestly, that's probably fine. because it is like in light mode. So I think I like that. Obviously it's going to be hard to tell whether or not this part's actually working until we fill this all the way out, but I think that looks good. I like that. So next thing that we have to do is put in like the banner and stuff. So I don't think I want to do a whole like component for it, because it's just going to be an image that spans across it. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is make a div, the class name equal to profile dash banner picture, and we can go ahead and say style equal to, and we can go ahead and be like, okay, if there is a profile user dot and then banner picture question mark, if there is, and what we can go ahead and do is we can say background image is equal to, and I think we have to do like URL, and then we can say $ curly brace, and then we can go ahead and say profile user dot banner picture. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and do is we'll say background color, background. It doesn't like background. We need to do this. Otherwise, we'll say, I think we can get background color now. Background. I could type color. And let's just do like the Twitter gray. So we'll just do like this gray color, I guess. If we want to, we could do the blue or something else, but let's just do the gray, right? So we'll do that, and we still have the class name. So right now we don't see anything. We should have seen light gray, but it might also be because we don't have anything in the div. So we need to go into our profile.css. So dot profile banner picture. Width will be 100%. Height will be 200px. And we also need to like do like the background image like cover basically. So we have the background, which has like the URL. We want background repeat, which is no repeat. We want background dash position, which is center. And then we want background, it could be background size, I guess. And then cover. Again, this isn't going to matter if we have like just gray. So yeah, you can see we have the gray there, and you can see this is working, and you can see that it's over. And then let me just grab like a random image. So I don't think I have the Twitter images on here. This is kind of cool, I guess. Can we copy the image address? I don't know if it's going to work or not. Instead of here, what we could do just to like kind of test it out, we could say user dot banner picture is equal to this. But then let's see if this actually sets it. And I'm going to delete this after this. I just want to see what it looks like whenever we make it fit in there. Okay, so that didn't work, so that's cool. I don't think we have to do this. Okay, we do have to do that. Yep, and that works fine. So I just wanted to make sure that that looked good. So that's good to go. Let's get rid of setting this. So we'll set this eventually in the future on our own. But cool, that looks good. So now the profile picture is interesting because the profile picture needs to be like offset, I guess. Let's make a new component inside profile. We'll call this, if I can make it inside the right spot. There we go. This will be profile follow section. Make a new file. Profile follow section. .tsx, new file, profile follow section.css. Now this profile follow section, it has like a circle with like ... and some other stuff. I'm not messing with that. I'm literally just gonna go ahead and say import React from React, and we're going to need interface we need the profile picture. So let's go ahead and say profile follow section. And what we need is the profile picture. And this will be a string. And I guess if it's null, we'll just go ahead and inject our profile picture there. And then I think I actually have that in assets. And then we need the username string. That way we can actually follow the user. We'll deal with that later. We're not going to follow the user tonight. Export const profile follow section will be a react.fc. Take in the profile follow section. It should be props and props, and equal to, let's go ahead and break these out. So profile picture, it's gonna, I messed something up, it's gonna be mad at me. We're gonna have to fix that. Username, and we'll do this. Okay, now it's fine. Return our div class name equal to profile dash follow section. This one is relatively simple. So we have an image with a class name equal to profile follow section, and I'll just kind of call it PFP. And this is where things are going to get interesting, and I don't know if we're going to have time to do it tonight. src will equal to, and we'll go ahead and just say profile picture, and then we need alt, and we'll just say curly brace, and we're going to say username, $, username, comma s PFP, just to get off our back. We'll have a div class name equal to profile follow section more. And I'm not going to deal with this. I'm going to see if there's like an ellipsis inside of Material UI. There we go. So we do have a more horizontal. Copy more horizontal. And we're going to go ahead and put that in here. And this will also need some styling, but we'll style it up. That's fine. I more want to get the profile kind of set up, profile picture kind of set up, and we'll deal with that. And then finally, we'll a button class name equal to profile dash follow section button. This will have an on click and stuff on it eventually, and this will say follow. So there's that. Let's go ahead and do the CSS. So we need to import the CSS, of course. So import / profile follow section .css. Save that. And we need to do the profile follow section. And I think this is what's going to be the important thing. So we want width 100%. We want height. So height would be 80 px. We're doing this differently than Twitter, because I think this will make it a little bit easier on us. I think we have to do position relative to make this work. And then we'll have a display of flex. Display flex will justify content. Does it justify items or justify content? Flex start and align items in the center, except for the thing that we're not going to. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the profile picture here. So profile follow section, and this needs the profile picture. So here we're going to say profile picture or profile user dot profile picture. We're gonna go ahead and just pass in the profile picture. Now the issue is that could be null, so I'll fix that in a second. Then we need username equal to profile user dot username. And we'll need that for other things. So let's just make sure this pops up. The picture's not going to work because it doesn't have a PFP. We have the dot, 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 and all of that. So that's fine. We need to space it out, and we might group the follow and the dot, dot, dot together because I think that's how it's going to have to be. And then we can go ahead and say div class name equal to profile follow section left. So what I want to get done is I just want to get the profile picture working properly, and then we can deal with the follow and stuff. So the PFP is the thing that I'm really worried about. So let's go ahead and do this. And honestly, I want to go ahead and say space between, and that'll also do some help. So the profile picture is approximately 133 for some reason. So let's say height is 134. I'm just going to make it a nice round number, 134 px. And let's see here. So inside of our follow section, we're going to say source profile picture question mark. If that's the case, it's going to be profile picture. Otherwise, it's going to import PFP from, and then dot dot slash, go all the way out to assets slash, and then default PFP. And then we're going to go ahead and say, hey, if there's a profile picture, we'll do this. Otherwise, we'll say PFP. So then we should see the PFP. It's already kind of working. Not exactly how I want, but it's already kind of working. So that's cool. So now we need to actually bring it up a little bit. And we also need to go ahead and say like, so if I come back into the CSS, we want a border radius of 100%. And we want a border of 1px solid. And I'm actually gonna do like light gray. Actually I'll do white because I think we do white like the background. We might actually want like 2 pixels. Now I'm gonna say top 0, and we're gonna see if we can start moving this guy around. So this guy needs to be moved up, and actually we might want the border to be like 4 pixels. I think we need to say position is absolute. So this is 134. So that'd be like what, 67 minus 67. Let's try that because I think I want about center. So minus 67 px. I think that's about where we want it. Now that broke some stuff. So now I guess what we actually end up wanting, one, I guess we'll go ahead and say left about 16 px, and then we'll also add 16 px on the other side. Cool, that looks good. And then now what we can do is instead of saying space between, we can actually say like flex end. And then also we can say margin on the right side of 16 px, and that'll kind of even everything out, except it didn't. We want padding right there. So now those are kind of evened out. Now, obviously, we want these lined up beside each other, but this is kind of like the hard part. Getting this part to work where this is lined up, quote unquote, properly, and this is overlaying this guy. That's the hard part of this. Now, the easy part is going to be styling the rest of it. So that's where I wanted to get on Tuesday. We're going to go ahead and get it so this is styled. We can actually click on follow, and we'll follow people, and we'll kind of go from there. So thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful evening, whenever you're watching this. This has been Ethan Uncutter. I'll see you guys in the next video.